So last night we had a campfire in our backyard and invited a set of friends we've had for a long time, a set of new friends to all kind of gather and connect with one another, because there's really nothing quite like campfire for making those sorts of connections, for telling stories and getting to know new friends and connecting and telling old stories. And I just love a campfire. And one of the intriguing things about a campfire, of course, is that, you have to light it really well. Now, I know in some of Canoe Cove Christian Camp's history, there's been some, large fires in that time. Just as we were getting ready last night for the campfire, it stormed. It just, like a powerful amount of water came down right at a certain moment just as we were setting up, so our wood was a bit wet. And so lighting that wood requires, when it's damp, a kind of patience, and we kind of start small, and then we kind of we kind of blow on the flame, and then we grow that into something that can be large enough that can take the damp wood. And that's actually a pretty interesting spiritual principle that we get from 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 6, where Paul says to Timothy, "Fan into flame the gift of God which is in you." And sets that whole passage in context of God's grace, God's gift, love, and the things that have been passed on to Timothy from others, and how he can develop that as a leader and as a young Christian. This last couple of years has been certainly one to dampen the spirit. It's been certainly one to dislocate, to disconnect. And it's late in the game, but I just really wanted to see if we could pull off a high school camp before the end of this summer. Right now, it's the middle of August here in Prince Edward Island, and things are going pretty well as far as COVID and safety measures and reconnections. And so what we've done is we planned a Labor Day camp weekend. And this video is about trying to recruit you to be involved, to see if you would like to be a volunteer for this particular camp. What we had in mind for this camp was to see if we could draw back in some of the high schoolers who would have missed camp for the last couple of years, and before that there actually wasn't really kind of a high school age camp for everyone, and to make sure that we connect with new high school students, some of who have worked at camps this summer or worked in churches this year, but may not have been ministered to in this particular way of Canoe Cove Camp. We want to make sure that we can make this connection with teen youth, to be able to kind of provide for them energy and support and encouragement to fan into flame their gift of God that is in them, and then also to help prepare leadership for not just the camp, but for all their aspects of life, family, school, connection, job, church, all of that. So what we want to do is have a great kind of old-fashioned weekend camp, so not a conference, but a camp on Labor Day weekend, September 3rd to 5th. We'll start Friday afternoon, early afternoon, and go until Sunday evening after campfire time. And do our best to bring in all the old-fashioned things, so those terrible game meals and songs, the way that people have to, sing and dance and all that kind of stuff, the campfire songs, the sharing, the testimonies, great worship times, beach times that are a bit terrifying for those that are afraid of water, as well as those night games, those long night games where we get damp and wet and cold and we lose counselors that we never find again. The whole thing. We want to bring this back and then invite new people in as campers. And what I would love for you is, if you've been involved in camp before, if you're involved in working with youth now, and you want to do this, I would love to have you come and connect. We need volunteers to help in program. We need volunteers to work as counselors for this particular camp. We need people to get the word out ahead of the camp. And we also need folks who can do things like work in the kitchen, take care of some structural things, and make sure that kids are safe, as well as clean up. So if you would like to be involved, please send me a personal note. You can email me at brentondickeson@hotmail.com. That's BRENTONDICKIESON@hotmail.com. Or send me a note through social media, and I'll talk to you about this. And make sure that you have a way that you can be plugged in to this particular camp, where we want to fan into flames. We want to draw back people into the experience where they can grow and actually kind of increase the energy of their faith, and both in terms of heat and light. In the meantime, best wishes to you this summer of 2021.